It's rare that you get a front row seat to your rumbly tumblies.
Yes,
that was fun.
That was like being at the Thanksgiving table with me, wasn't it?
The look on Bob's face when you had that chair, was priceless.
Yeah.
Listen,
oh God, I'm going to have to host now.
Felt like Jody Hamilton, didn't it?
Well, there goes
Rather
the next
than cutting short
hours.
the Bob Cesca segment for gastrointestinal, I got it out of the way first, Bob. Wasn't that nice? Okay.
That's so sweet of you. That's so sweet.
All right.
Are you?
I don't.
Are you going to like
feel
get up
privileged.
again?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Bob.
Hi.
I just.
Hi. Yes.
Doesn't it? Aren't you getting that creepy, like the hair standing on the back of your neck when that's what we're? They don't want to teach history. They don't want to teach our actual history. It does feel very fatherlandy, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah. I think this was something, in fact, this has little to do with woke history about stealing land. This is something that I learned in second grade. I thought this was kind of obvious, going back to the 70s at least, that this was something that the Europeans did when they landed here. They murdered and committed genocide against the indigenous people in North America, and that's how we created this great land of ours, the United States of America. Yeah. I thought that was always the thing. I didn't realize that that's something new, something new that's been invented by woke culture. Yeah.
But you said the same things we were saying about that debate that, you retweeted Midas Touch, said, wow, Charlie Christian just made DeSantis look incredibly weak with a very simple question. And you said, wow, DeSantis froze like Cindy Brady on that quiz show. Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just went with the pre-canned line, right? Instead of, I mean, obviously the answer is no, I'm not going to serve a full term if I'm reelected.
Of course, yes. But his reaction was, I reminded me of Dan Quayle in 1988 when Lloyd Benson went, I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. You know Jack Kennedy. And then just, Dan Quayle staring blankly into the camera and Marsha Brady off to the side going, Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge. That was, and it happened again with Ron DeSantis. I'm telling you, Ron DeSantis is not ready for the presidential stage.
Yeah.
I think
You've been
a lot of
saying
people are
that.
starting to.
Yeah,
because, if you watch him up close and you see him operating in Florida, and then you superimpose that into the debate stage of whatever it is going to be, 182 different candidates running for the primary next year, he's just going to fall apart. He's got a thin voice. He looks like a meatball. He doesn't have the charisma. People are looking for a replacement for Donald Trump. He doesn't have the Trump charisma. And say what you will about the awfulness, the vileness, the racism, and all the rest of it of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has charisma. He wouldn't have been able to build up this movement without it.
You're right.
I'm not even sure how to define it. It's just the Zazazoo that you recognize when you see it. And Ron DeSantis doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And people are going to recognize that as soon as he steps onto the national stage. Yeah. Don't count on Ron DeSantis.
I don't know why.
For
I just had a flashback to USC theater and David, my flaming homo friend.
Your what?
He was commenting on my my college boyfriend who was a USC football player. And he said, oh, honey, I know he has animal magnetism, but so does dead meat. Okay, that was just reminding me of Donald Trump. I'm like, is that what you call?
So your best friend at USC was Paul Lind?
Yes, my best friend was Paul Lind. Okay. That's how long ago I was in theater school.
Okay, got it.
How old are you?
Sammy. Also, you retweeted is saying just truth that Chris said I'm pro-business. I want to make sure we keep our businesses open. I'm not a governor who attacked Walt Disney World. I'm not the governor who attacked the cruise industry. That's you. You're the most anti-business governor I've ever seen. I like that. I like taking those Republican issues. It's like Dr. Oz. I thought that was the biggest headline of the debate last night. That a woman's right to choose should be between her doctor, and local politicians. That's small government. I mean,
right. Yeah. So if you get pregnant in Pennsylvania, what you really want to do is go down and consult. Say you're 13 years old and you've been raped by your father. Make sure to run down and consult with your local city council. Yeah. I'm sure they'll be really, really helpful in this crisis.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. And you know what? Let me say something about last night's debate. John Fetterman will recover from his stroke.
Yes. Dr. Oz will always be an a-hole.
He'll always be this poser D-bag political tourist that he's always been with zero experience in politics. So that you don't recover from that.
Yeah.
John Fetterman will recover. He'll be fine. He'll be able to do the job, as most people who have strokes these days are able to do. So I don't think last night should necessarily be the determining factor as far as how people cast their ballot.
Is that the famous, is it a Winston Churchill line that the woman that said he was drunk and he's like, yes, ma'am, but tomorrow I shall be sober and you will still be ugly.
That's exactly right. And again,
that was
no
my
more
Winston
political.
Churchill. Yeah.
That was awful.
Or maybe it was Abraham Lincoln. I don't remember.
Yeah,
anyway, Bob.
Yes, Mark Twain. I mean, just start throwing out names.
Yeah.
I'm naming names. Yeah, again, Dr. Oz is one of these political tourists who thinks it's going to be fun to jump on this gravy train that's become politics now in the United States. And that's exclusively what he's into. He's still a carpetbagger. He's still from New Jersey. He's still this slime bag, and he's never going to change. He's always going to be the Dr. Oz that you see there.
Yep.
And that's what I think Pennsylvania voters need to keep in mind.
You tweeted, we just had Michael Cohen on last week. You said, I think Michael Cohen, Hal Sparks, and I are the only humans predicting Trump won't run, mainly because of money, both the money he's raising from suckers and the money he needs for his myriad legal defenses, which total at least 20. He's nuts, but he can count to 150 million. Do you stand by that this morning, sir?
Yes, I do. I still believe he's not going to run. I think it would be financial suicide for him, first and foremost. And I think Michael Cohen's exactly right as far as Donald Trump not wanting to lose again. I think there's a very distinct possibility that he will. And a few of the names that he might lose to, not Ron DeSantis. I stand by that one too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, is this the shock poll you're talking about? Biden beats Trump by 4 points in a new poll, but Kamala Harris crushes him by 15 points. I wonder if that bothered him at all.
I didn't see that. I haven't seen that poll. Kamala Harris beats Ron DeSantis by 15 points. Or Donald Trump, is it?
Yeah.
Or DeSantis?
Trump. Yeah. Trump. I mean,
my God.
This is what I hate about all the naysaying where, people don't like Kamala Harris and she can win. And, if Biden doesn't run, it's like, the whole getting, just be an alpha liberal. Man up out there, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should all be prepared for the possibility that Trump will run. I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's safe to do, to be emotionally ready, strategically ready for the possibility that Donald Trump will run, but I don't think he's going to run. There are, at last count, like 20 different legal proceedings that he faces. Even at the show Saturday night, Hal Sparks was talking about the cell phone Ponzi scheme thing that he was doing in 2005 that he's still being sued for. Right. So he needs the money to pay for his legal defenses. Yeah. Plus, as Michael Cohen was saying this past week, he's making all kinds of money, more money than he ever made on The Apprentice. Yeah. Doing these speaking engagements, which, formerly known as rallies, but which are now paid motivational speaking engagement. People have to pay to go to those things. Yeah. The rally that we saw this past weekend, people had to pay to attend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's a grift that he's not going to walk away from.
That was a very good point Hal made Saturday night. However, that was not the headline that you said before we got on, and that is that you saw my girlfriend.
Oh, God.
How hot?
Yes, I did. I did, and she is easy on the eyes.
You saw her hair.
Congratulations.
No, you didn't. I have a picture. I have a screenshot. You know what? You can see for yourself if you go to sexyliberal.com.
That's right.
For only $20.
Exactly.
You can see how hot my girlfriend is.
You can see it as many times as you want until the end of the year.
And also Hal and everyone else says things.
Yeah. I've watched the pay-per-view. It looks great. I strongly recommend watching the pay-per-view. You see everything.
It is fantastic.
Everything.
Including Travis and spandex.
And Jody is a
Jody.
nurse.
That was a
surprise. My God, you must have had a nerdgasm over Jody and Travis dressed as superheroes.
Yes, of course I did. I was like, well, now I watched the opening with Chris, Travis, and Jody, and then I just turned it off. I said, I don't need to see
Chris was dressed as some guy in a T-shirt.
Well, I was working. I was running sound.
Whatever. Okay. I loved your the Halloween costume you tweeted. Conservative guy scared of cities.
Yes.
This is a guy in a T-shirt.
Yes, it was great.
Thank you.
Seriously, if you haven't ordered the pay-per-view, go and order the pay-per-view and watch it over and over and over again.
Thank you, honey. Yeah. We have to save democracy. Thank you for, by the way, you retweeted someone that said a group of 30 House liberals urging Biden to dramatically shift his strategy on Ukraine and pursue direct negotiations with Russia, and you just said JFC. Come on, people, focus.
Right,
and
exactly.
I have to say they've reversed course. Liberal Democrats withdraw a letter to Biden that urged him to rethink Ukraine. I know, I'm like, now? Not now. What are you doing?
I know.
But Julie from Seattle said, when we do or say a dumb thing, we admit it in correct course. So thank you. Thank you.
It wasn't helpful.
I may have overreacted. I mean, I may have overreacted just a little bit. But ultimately, I think it turned out to be a trial balloon. Right. And that trial balloon Oh my God! Everyone hates that trial balloon.
Yeah, it exploded like the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
Exactly like the Hindenburg.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Right, going into the midterms, when 70-something% of the American people are with us on Ukraine, on helping Ukraine.
Yeah, it's like, okay, right before the election, 2 weeks ago before the election, we're going to line up with, who's going to be Tucker Carlson on Russia. That's a great idea.
Right.
Bad. Don't do that again.
Yeah. By the way, can I say real quick, you were all over it on Twitter. You said less reporting on what people think is happening and more reporting on what's actually happening, please. Put another way, people think inflation sucks is bad reporting. Here's what inflation is and why it's happening is good reporting. At least put up the graph of showing it in every country in the world and how much better it is here. For instance.
And how much time do we have before a hard break? Because this is one of the things that I cannot stand. It's this thing in the press where they see either poll results or they go talk to the diner people out in the hinterlands, and then they report on all of these ridiculous biases without setting the record straight. Then people read that and feel as though, okay, I guess that's okay to think that way. I guess it's okay to have this backwards, upside down view of what inflation is or why gas prices are happening and all the rest of it. And it just creates this feedback loop, this Ouroboros of nonsensory. It's infuriating the way the press does this. And what the press ought to be doing when it comes to these issues is to report on what the thing is. Report on why it's happening. Where it comes from.
Not just, as Derek Bollert would say, what are Republicans mad about today? Like, as you said, so what we really need are more Republicans because of some made-up hooey about rainbow fentanyl at Halloween. Oh, my God, drug dealers aren't giving your kids fentanyl at Halloween, right?
Well, that's another thing. The Republican Party has been all about making up problems and then inventing ridiculous solutions for it. What was Tucker Carlson saying in that debate with Val Demings? Or no, it wasn't Tucker Carlson. It was oh, my God, Marco Rubio. It was Marco Rubio saying that people are going to start blowing up drop boxes. Voting drop boxes.
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah, but you know what? How many times has a ballot drop box been bombed in this country? 0. How many trans people have committed sexual assault in bathrooms? 0.
Right.
Why are these issues? Is you go to the border crisis thing where they're talking about all the drugs that have been seized and the terrorists that have been stopped, and then defining that as a border crisis. They're scaring like suburban white women. That's what they're doing.
Real quick before you go, on Twitter, Representative what's her name? Lauren Boebert tweeted, here's how many individuals on the FBI's terror watch list, CBP, arrested over the last 6 years. 22, 98 people. 21, 15 people. 20, 3 people. And you just said Republicans hate it when terrorists are arrested. I'm like, that's not a good thing? More terrorists have been arrested on... Okay.
Look, I get the rubes and the suckers look at that and go, ooh, the brown people are coming for us. They're going to start beheading us and leaving our body parts in the desert and whatever nonsense they're being told by Tucker Carlson. But the fact of the matter is that every single one of these tweets, and I've collected them like obsessively. I'm a little bit concerned about myself because every time there's another one, I make a screen grab and save it, where it's, you stopped all this fentanyl, enough to kill 1 billion people or whatever it is, which is unequivocally a success. I mean, how else do you define that? Do you want it to come across without being stopped? I don't think so. So... But everyone who reads that, who are predisposed to believing that there's an invasion, are going to think, oh, I guess there's an invasion because of all the arrests.
All right, I'm off to, it's outdoor bike day. I'm off to ride I'm done talking to you. I'm off to ride my bike and listen to you.
You're dressed like a pumpkin.
I am dressed like a construction cone, where I will be listening to the Bob Cesca Show, as every human should.